Thank you, Julie. Welcome, everyone. St. Louis County Commissioners will vote next week on the 2016 county budget. Now, the board set the maximum levy at a little over $116 million back in September, the same level as 2015. If the budget passes as expected, county property owners will actually see a decrease in the county share of property taxes. And here to tell us more is Pete Stauber. Pete is chair of the St. Louis County Board, and Commissioner Keith Nelson is chair of the board's Finance Committee. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here. Commissioner Stauber, public meetings were held this past week. What did you hear from county residents regarding this upcoming levy?
Well, in fact, Danny, many of the county residents were very happy with the 0% levy increase for 2016. We had worked very hard at that. That was a goal from really starting last January. And the 0% levy increase is well taken by the residents. And we understand that with that 0% levy increase, the services won't decline. In fact, we know that there are people out there expecting the services and expecting great service from St. Louis County, and we're going to deliver again in 2016.
Commissioner Nelson, it's almost unheard of for property taxes to be flat or go down. How did the county manage it?
Well, I think the important thing to remember is that the investment that people are making is serving our community, as Chair Stauber indicated, but getting to the 0%, it's a tremendous effort. Our board, our staff has worked exceptionally hard to try and maximize the dollars coming into St. Louis County from other sources, and just holding the line wherever we possibly could.
Keith, you're a St. Louis County Commissioner living in the Virginia area, serving that part of the Iron Range. Did the uncertainty in the mining industry have anything to do with that decision to hold taxes, hold the levy?
I certainly think that our board recognizes that there are some difficulties out there economically, with the Iron Range, and we're trying to make certain that we don't adversely affect those small businesses and those individuals who are being temporarily laid off from the mining industry. So yes, it did play a part in our decision-making process.
The other side of the coin, of course, with that is that there could be more people turning to the county in need of county services with the struggles that are happening up on the range. Has the county made some accommodations for that?
We have. We put into place each year provisions for the unexpected, and we have our Public Health and Human Services Director, who you'll be meeting shortly, has done a really good job in that part. The county services are a critical component, a critical core component that we deliver to the folks, and we understand, especially in the economic times, if there's a downturn, that we're prepared and ready to serve those folks in any way that we can as a county.
And we do have a graphic that kind of shows the big pie and how you split it up. If we could get that up, maybe you could explain, one of you, how the money is spent in the county.
Sure. You'll see that the graphic on the screen, the biggest budget item we have is public safety. And public safety, that you're talking from our sheriffs, our corrections, our attorneys. That's an incredible amount of money spent. However, it's needed. We want to make sure that justice is served across the county in equally and proportionate ways. And our county, led by our county attorney, our Sheriff Ross Littman, they understand the magnitude that law enforcement needs to have in St. Louis County. And Commissioner Nelson will be talking about the other three items.
We have, when you really break down our budget, we have the big three. Okay, public safety, as our chair, Commissioner Stauber, addressed. The second is, of course, public health and human services, which is the component that you talked about potentially seeing a greater need in 2016 and beyond. I want to reassure all of your listeners that St. Louis County financially is in tremendous shape. We have reserves to cover any issues that could come forward, and we have a great deal of flexibility or fungibility within our budget to be able to accommodate that. The third is the our road structure, roads and bridges, public works. And we're prepared there as well, investing 19% plus of our budget in roads, road projects, bridges, but we're also investing outside of this budget completely the proceeds from our sales tax that was implemented early this year.
How did that do?
It is doing absolutely tremendous, Dennis. We think that next year we're going to be delivering in the neighborhood of $80 million worth of road and bridge projects throughout St. Louis County. I drove on a couple of those road projects as I was coming here this evening. It's exciting.
So, Commissioner, other than the levy, what else determines property taxes in St. Louis County?
Well, the levy is what sets that level and that level of investment for property tax
Does new
holders.
growth help?
Well, the new growth that we experienced is going to be the component of our budget that actually drops people's taxes, because we've seen about a 5% real growth in property in St. Louis County over the past year.
What kind
year
of
and a half.
projects?
And well, a lot of those projects, a lot of that growth occurred within the city of Duluth, a lot of business growth that occurred, which is exciting. And that 5% growth, the bigger the pie, the smaller the pieces. So.
Commissioner?
And Dennis, you talk about the growth. You just look in the city of Hermantown, my hometown, with the growth in commercial businesses, with the mills and the Holiday Inn Express, the new St. Luke's Clinic, and the building the private homes in Hermantown. And that helps reduce the levy, the cost for everyone when there's expansion like that. And as Commissioner Nelson said, you look down in the city of Duluth and you see cranes and businesses and workers working. That's a good good sign for the city of Duluth.
So will all taxpayers then, property owners, see a decrease in their county portion of the taxes?
Proportionally, all property taxpayers are going to see a decrease over what their property taxes could or would have been. People do need to remember that when, if they had home improvements or if their assessment has gone up, that would also affect their property tax statement. But throughout St. Louis County, for the county portion is
Right.
going to be going down.
People need to remember cities, schools, townships, they all have
Special levies, correct.
absolutely special levies which
That-
affect your property taxes.
Yes.
And property values, did they fluctuate much in the last year?
No, the property values, they didn't fluctuate as much as we expected, but when our assessors go out there every 3 or 5 years, what they try to do is have a consistent assessing value throughout the county. And you'll notice that there are times where the assessed value kind of increases a little bit higher than the individual homeowner wants. And that's because if you look back at the blue ribbon panel that we had, some people's homes, particularly in the city of Duluth, weren't being assessed at the average or yearly rate that it should have been. And so throughout the county, it's catching up, and that's what that blue ribbon panel was. And people have to understand that the assessment has to be equal and fair for everybody, north and south.
The county board gave unanimous approval to supporting the Polymet Copper Nickel project. Was that a no-brainer?
I think that the county board really set a course that they are supporting the process, the scientific process that's going on. And I think all commissioners agree that that process is worthy and is something that needs to occur. And that's why I think you saw the vote from each and every commissioner, putting that confidence in the DNR and the MPCA and in our governor that the process is going forward and that they're being all inclusive. So I think commissioners indicated that they had that belief in the process.
Any lingering concerns about the environmental implications?
We're letting the science base do the talking in this EIS, and I, for one, along with the board, feel that when you add the science and the factual data, it's driven to a point where we believe that we can mine safely and not harm the environment, and that's our goal.
All right, Commissioners Stauber and Nelson, thank you very much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
having us.
Yes.